What's happening, people? Hope you're all well. Just doing my morning cooking and yeah, busy as always. But let me make this video quick time. So, was Deontay Wilder a fraud? Is Deontay Wilder a fraud? That's an interesting question because Deontay Wilder was a few years ago talking about one face, one name, one champion. He thought he was the best in the division. There's no shame in that. Every fighter should believe that. His fans were peddling him to be the best in the division. His coach was saying that he was more skillful than Muhammad Ali. He was marketed as this devastating puncher. But what is the reality? Because we've seen Deontay Wilder lose to Joseph Parker, and we've seen Deontay Wilder lose to Zhilei Zhang most recently by devastating knockout. So what is the truth? The truth is, I need to quickly put these vegetables on cooking in a second. So I'll put these in, but I'm gonna talk and do my thing at the same time. So is Deontay Wilder a fraud? Like, was it all fake? Was it all just marketing? I think the answer lies in the middle. I think the answer lies in the middle for sure. I think that Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't necessarily say that he was a fraud because, let's face it, Deontay Wilder, I think Deontay Wilder, the thing is, right, people always remember what have you done for me lately. So, for example, David Haye, I find that a lot of people remember David Haye by the Tony Bellew defeats, and that is really a disservice to what David Haye gave to the sport. People are forgetting David Haye when he went and fought Nikolai Valuev. People are forgetting when David Haye went and fought John Ruiz. People are forgetting David Haye when he fought cruiserweight. So, you know, we really need to look at the fact that we can't just remember fighters right at the end. We gotta remember them in their prime. That's a more fair assessment. Deontay Wilder in his prime, I believe, was a fighter that added value to the heavyweight division, and also I think he's a fighter that was a key player in the old era, the era that's just ending now in the heavyweight division. Let me quickly get this food out. Maybe this wasn't the best time to make the video, but listen, when you are a busy person, sometimes you just gotta do it. I think he was a key player in the heavyweight division in his prime, and he added value to the heavyweight division. We can't say that Deontay Wilder gave nothing to the heavyweight division because that's not true. If Deontay Wilder was an absolute fraud, then he wouldn't have even been competitive against Tyson Fury. And he was competitive against Tyson Fury, let's have it right, he was. Whether he won, he lost, or he drew, he contributed undoubtedly to those fights. Like, it's undeniable. He gave us entertainment. He was a devastating puncher, you know, so in that sense, no, he wasn't a fraud. Was he a fraud in the sense that he was protected? Yes and no. You know, was he given the hardest fights possible? You know, was Deontay Wilder given the hardest fights possible as a on the way up? No. He spent a lot of time fighting no-hopers on the way up. But to be fair to him, he's a late starter to boxing. I can't necessarily begrudge him for that because he's a late starter to boxing. He needed phasing in, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you start boxing at age 20, you're going to need to be phased in. So I can't begrudge him of that too much. But then at the same time, when he was a champion, was he protected? I would say yeah. So, is it as bad as people made out? In my opinion, not quite. You know, Deontay Wilder, when he became champion, his first defense was Eric Molina. No, that wasn't a strong defense, but listen, who has a strong defense for their a lot of champions don't. You know, Anthony Joshua, when he became champion, his first defense was against Dominic Brazil. Now, in my opinion, prime Molina and prime Brazil was a competitive fight. For a little bit longer. So yeah, I think prime Brazil and prime Molina is a competitive fight. Anthony Joshua, he fought Dominic Brazil, and then he fought, who did he fight after that? Eric Molina, you know? So Deontay Wilder, so the thing I'm trying to say is Deontay Wilder, yeah, he didn't become champion and go Usyk style. You know, he didn't become champion and fight the top contenders or try or unify or you know, go for undisputed, but he didn't do anything that no other champion has ever done. Anthony Joshua, from my memory, correct me if I'm wrong, his first two defenses were Dominic Brazil followed by Eric Molina. Deontay Wilder, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Eric Molina and Johan Duhaupas. So those aren't too dissimilar. No, he didn't fight Klitschko. Yes, he could have fought Klitschko. So, but at the same time, so I'm saying he didn't do anything that no champion has never done before. But at the same time, he didn't exactly go and face top opposition. So Deontay Wilder, yeah, he was protected. It wasn't as bad as people made out. And with regards to how good he was as a fighter, well, to an extent, we're not going to know, because when he was in his prime, he didn't fight the champions. He didn't fight the top opposition. He fought Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was a very good fighter. I think Luis Ortiz was past his best by the first fight. People make out Luis Ortiz was this overrated, terrible guy. Nah, back in the days he was avoided. Around the time when Luis Ortiz fought David Allen, and was beating Brian Jennings and Tony Thompson, he was a dangerous heavyweight. He was a dangerous heavyweight, and people didn't want to fight him. Even Tyson Fury admitted it on Baylor at TV years ago. You go watch that. Tyson Fury admitted there's no point fighting Luis Ortiz because he's a dangerous Cuban. So we got to give Wilder some credit there, because really there was no upside to beating Ortiz. You beat him, you beat an old man. You lose to him, you lost to an old man. So overall, my assessment of Deontay Wilder is it lies in the middle. He wasn't a full-on fraud, but there was a lot of marketing behind him. At the end of the day, he's a man with a pair of boxing gloves. He put a pair of boxing gloves on and tried to do the best for him and his family, you know, and he did. If Deontay Wilder in his prime fought all the heavyweight champions, if Deontay Wilder in his prime fought everyone, do I think he would have taken losses? Yeah, I do. Styles make fights. If everyone fought everyone, funny things would happen. So, you know, but that's why champions don't fight everyone. You know, Anthony Joshua didn't become heavyweight champion and then go and fight Vladimir Klitschko in his first defense, did he? No, he didn't. So I think that Deontay Wilder, he wasn't exact fraud, but he wasn't exactly the best champion either. Prime Wilder, you know, I think that he would have taken L's, but he would have won more. He would have looked a lot better than he does now. And I think people should remember Wilder for prime Wilder. Yes, it's a shame he didn't fight more people, but at the end of the day, it's done now. I'm not going to stand here and say he was a fraud, but if I look at where he rates amongst, you know, his current era, you would have to put him. Who's Anthony Joshua be? Joseph Parker, that's turning out to look quite good. Who else Anthony Joshua be that's of note? Vladimir Klitschko. Who else Anthony Joshua be? Andy Ruiz. You'd say Anthony Joshua's resume is better than Deontay Wilder's, but not by an arm and a leg. Like, you would say it's sizably better than Wilder's, so, but it's not just based on the eye test. I would say that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua are quite similar at the moment. I think Anthony Joshua might go on to have a second chapter to his career if he gets a move on now. And when it's all said and done, I think it's likely Joshua will rate higher than Deontay Wilder, but not by anything crazy, to be honest with you. So yeah, Anthony Joshua at the moment, I would say him and Wilder. If you're looking at prime Joshua, But I do want to say that it's hard because I don't really want to rate it now. Wilder looks like he's coming to the end. Joshua, I think, has got some time left, so I don't fully want to say, yeah, this is where he rates him, where I rate Joshua, because Joshua, I think, still has some, you know, some something left in him to give to the sport. So I don't. But as it stands right now, I think him and Wilder are pretty similar, because when I assess boxers, I assess the eye test and the resume, and I think that stylistically that Joshua might have struggled against Wilder, prime for prime. But then I don't even want to say prime for prime, because I want to see if I think Joshua's past his athletic prime, but I think that he's seasoned now, so you might actually see the best to come, because Lennox Lewis was past his athletic prime when he was actually in his boxing prime. Athletic prime and boxing prime are two different things. But yeah, him and Wilder are pretty similar ranking if we're going prime for prime, which again I'm reluctant to say, but I'm kind of just trying to do approximations here. Wilder rated amongst Tyson Fury, well, you can't rate Wilder above Tyson Fury. Alexander Usyk, you can't rate him above Alexander Usyk, although I think he would have had a chance in that fight because the styles make fights, prime for prime. He's in the conversation, so I can't call him a full-on fraud, but he's definitely not, when it's all said and done, he's not going to be the one that you stand down and say, yeah, he was the man. But he contributed and he deserves credit for that. Anyway, what do you think about what I said in this video? Even if you disagree, let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell to get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work, I want to leave a donation. If you appreciate my work, it's early. If you appreciate my work, I want to leave a donation. There's a link for that in the description. With that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you on the next one.